Einen wunderschönen guten Tag, meine lieben Zockerfreunde. Hier ist der Buller2014 mit dem mittlerweile 19. Teil von LA Noire, Zocken mit Buller 2014. Ich hoffe, euch haben die anderen Videos bisher gefallen und wünsche euch bei dem Video auch viel Spaß.
There's a phone number we can run by R&I, plus a bunch of names and odds. You're not the only one who likes a flutter, Roy. Not everything here is going to be relevant.
You look troubled.
I'm in a jam, Doctor.
Can I help, Courtney? Is it money?
No, Doctor. That's okay. Do I have your professional confidence?
Whatever you say, we'll never leave this room.
I talked some of the guys in my old unit into doing something, and it's gone wrong. I guess I did it for the wrong reasons, for short-term gain. We came home from China on the Cool Ridge.
The morphine robbery.
That was us. I thought I could get the guys a fair share. Some sort of benefit for the sacrifices that they made in the war. Those guys deserve it, Doctor.
Oh, I'm sure they do, Courtney. But the deserving aren't always rewarded.
Tell me about it, Doc. We shifted our stuff onto this mob-connected guy, and it's been turning up all over town. It wasn't meant to be like this.
The presumption was rather naive, Courtney.
I know that now, Doctor. But people are dying.
Might I venture a few questions?
Sure.
Do your underworld contacts have all the morphine?
No, they don't. We doled it out, hoping we could control it.
Are they pressing you for further allocation?
That's the polite way of putting it, Doctor.
I may be able to help you, Courtney.
Thanks, Doc. It helps just to talk about it.
I mean, I have a solution that will help you financially and salve your conscience.
I'm all ears, Doctor.
I will transact to take all the narcotic off your hands. And you can rest assured that it will all be medically administered. I will use the funds that I no longer require for the purchase of medication and invest them in housing developments.
Housing?
The developments in question are housing projects for former servicemen. Your return will come from the sale of the properties, and your investment will benefit those that you care for most. Does this arrangement meet with your approval?
You're a magician, Doctor.
You better find that cocksucker and you bring him to me.
I feel bad too, Mickey. He guaranteed me he would take the flop.
I guarantee that you will be fish food if you don't bring me... Roy, you out of pocket too?
Mickey, seems that way.
Don't worry about it. My boys are out looking for him.
Well, you'd better call them off. This is a police matter now. If anything happens to Hammond, I'll testify that you made threats against him.
Who's the Greyhound? He's a frisky one, isn't he?
Cole Phelps, Mickey Cohen.
I know who he is, Roy. I, met his brother-in-law.
I think you had the mixture pretty scared back there.
Fix you a sandwich, buddy? Corned beef and egg salad, 12 cents. Bologna and ham and cheese, 10.
Help me out.
R&I could trace that phone number, find out who that limey was talking to before he cut out of here.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address for the following phone number. AL345.
The address for the phone number is the Hotel El Mar, 6294 Leland Way, Hollywood.
Thanks, ma'am. You know the place?
Flop house. Quarter a night, no questions asked.
You seem to have a pretty cozy relationship with Cohen and Stompanato.
Do I note a hint of reprimand in your tone, Detective? Talking to gangsters comes with the turf. You should try out Mickey's place. He's got a haberdasher's up on Sunset. See if he can get you out of those old man's clothes that you slink around in.
It's a front for his illegal activities.
It is that, but he does carry some very sharp suits.
Yeah, what do you want?
LAPD. We're making inquiries into the whereabouts of an Albert Hammond.
No one here by that name.
You sure?
Sure, I'm sure. This isn't the sort of place where people use their real names. Take a look at the register if you don't believe me.
That's the guy from the papers. Solved that big case.
Okay, so look for prominent Tommies. That should narrow it down.
How bad is it? Come on, you can tell me. Hey, buddy, you dropped something? When is America going to understand? It's not about getting, it's about giving. 3 blondes walk into a bar. You think one of them would have seen it? Did you read about the woman who stabbed her husband and then pushed him in front of the car? That's the cop who caught her.
Winston Churchill. A very patriotic Englishman is staying in room 207.
The old bulldog. Even at a flop house, Adley can't get out from his shadow.
I'm out of here.
Door's unlocked. Looks like he's had a broad up here.
This doesn't pertain to the case. Does Albert have somebody special? I didn't see anyone in his corner at the fight. I guess a fighter has plenty of time on his hands between bouts. Instaheat. Adrian Black's product of choice. Seems like a lifetime ago. Candy has expensive taste. Albert has his work cut out for him.
Who's Candy?
Candy Edwards, the lady who filled out this coupon.
All right, let's go after his girl. See if that gets us any closer.
Gives us angle if he has a real love interest. Looks like Albert has been doing some homework. 11 grand would be a nice little nest egg. He must be heading home. You know, I hope he makes it.
That crooked son of a bitch? No chance.
Wrinkle was not one of the things I wanted to be when I grew up.
How bad is it?
All right, let's go after his girl. See if that gets us any closer.
So, you boxed in the Marines?
We all did. Standard training.
I can't imagine you ever played dirty.
The only prize for taking a fall was 1,000 push-ups.
We need to know which room is Candy's.
I survived the war.
LAPD, ma'am. We're looking for Candy Edwards.
Apartment 7. You take the outside stairs by the parking lot and turn left at the top. You friends of the Italian guy?
Italian guy?
Yeah. Sleazy type? Gave his name as Carlo. I didn't like the look of him, but Candy has some funny friends.
Thanks.
This Candy broad must be as sweet as she sounds. All these gentlemen callers.
Hey, don't mind me.
Give it up, bitch.
Sounds like we're missing
He's
all
gone
the
and
fun.
fucked
Get
both
in
of us,
there,
and you know
Phelps.
where he's hiding. Now tell me where he is before I cut you.
I told you I haven't seen him.
Like hitting women, do you?
This isn't going to end well for you, friend. Out cold, but breathing. Give her a minute and take a look around.
Nasty weapon.
All the Italians carry them. A real man uses his fists or a gun.
Carlo here seems to have the same friends as Hammond. What are the odds on them all being bookmakers? She's leaving town. Single ticket. One way. I guess there isn't a lot for Albert in Ohio. Scania sails from New York. Take a seat, Miss Edwards. We have some questions for you to answer.
Look, I haven't done anything wrong.
Ever? I find that pretty hard to believe.
Can you answer some questions now, Miss Edwards?
Sure, I've had worse. I'll shake it off.
We're trying to track down Albert Hammond. We have reason to believe he might be in danger. Do you know where he is?
No, I don't. I'm over Albert. I haven't seen him.
Save it for the suckers, Candy. Albert won big. He may not have told you, but you don't strike me as the type who leaves town when there's money to be had.
Call me anything you like, Flatfoot. I'm done with this burg and all the cheap chiselers who live here.
Do the names Harry, Mervyn, or Ray mean anything to you?
Could be anybody. How the hell would I know?
Give up these men, Miss Edwards, and we'll think about letting these charges against you slide.
What? Charges against me? All I did was try and look out for Albert. Now he skips out and I have to take beatings for him as well?
You're leaving town, Miss Edwards?
Yes, I'm going straight home.
You're lying to me. Albert finally won a big fight. I say good luck to him. But you know where he is. Let me help him, Candy.
Do all you cops run off at the mouth? Prove I know where he is. I don't know where he is, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Well, get out of your way, Candy. We know you're a busy lady.
Like I said, I've done nothing wrong.
The LAPD expects a little more cooperation. You'd better watch your back, sister. Get out, Carlo, you hump. And get rid of that pig sticker. You ever pull that thing on me, I'll shoot you like a dog.
That bitch knows where Hammond is. She knows where my money's gone.
My money too, tough guy.
I'll handle this.
Bad people are looking to hurt Candy, and yet she's not heading straight for the train station? I smell a payoff. I say stake her out. See where she goes. Tail this broad. Don't let her get away, but don't get spotted. I'll bring up the car behind you.
Too much slack. Gotta get closer.
Tail this broad. Don't let her get away, but don't get spotted. I'll bring up the car behind you. Tail this broad. Don't let her get away, but don't get spotted. I'll bring up the car behind you.
Move in. Can't risk losing the trail. Too much slack. Gotta get closer. Move in. Can't risk losing the trail.
bookmakers?
Yes. Surprise, surprise. A blonde woman just came in here.
She went out the back way. Said she was being watched.
How much did she collect?
$3,600. She cleaned me out.
On the Hammond Kid Galahad fight?
You got it. I'm not complaining. We all made a lot of money on that one. Huge plunge on Galahad, and then Hammond knocks the bum out.
So she collected the money and went out through the back door?
Nope. She made a phone call over there, wrote something on a notepad, and then left.
No good, Cole. She's gone. Trail's cold. There must be something inside that can give us a lead. What are you doing?
An old intelligence trick from the Marines. We know where she's headed. Let's get moving.
Car 11K, 11 King. Further to your request, Bunko Fraud has 3 known bookmakers operating out of storefronts in the Hollywood area. Thrifty Liquors, 6106 Santa Monica, the Examiner Drugstore, and a Max Spirits at 1658 North Cherokee. KGPL clear.
Hammond backed himself to win.
And Candy is picking up the winnings. Smart play.
Question is Candy collecting on Albert's behalf, or is she cheating him too? Detectives Phelps and Earl, LAPD.
Relax, Cole. You just have a blonde in here, Mervyn?
Sure did. I'm just about to close up. She took me to the cleaners. 4,000 clams and change.
How long ago did she leave?
Maybe 5 minutes. Called a cab. Asked for a number. I told her there was a card over there by the phone.
Yellow cab. We need to get after her, fast. Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Can you connect me to the Yellow Cab Company? Hollywood 2187, please. This is Detective Phelps, LAPD. You dispatched a cab to 1487 Ivar Avenue, Hollywood?
Yes, sir. Sent 1 round from the pool.
Do you have the number of that cab?
Number 179.
Thanks.
We're done playing around. Get Mervyn to give us an address on Ray's place.
You have any idea who Ray is?
Sugar Ray?
Not now, Mervyn. Cole doesn't have much of a sense of humor at the best of times.
Ray runs a shop up on North Cherokee Avenue, just south of Hollywood Boulevard.
This broad's planning on cleaning out every bookmaker in town.
Hammond needed to make sure he was getting a bigger payday than if he'd taken the flop.
Never trust the limeys, especially where a fight's concerned. A mistake we can't seem to stop making.
All units in the vicinity and any central unit. Citizen reports of 415 at 7th and Central. Unit to handle code 2, identified.
That's the cab waiting up ahead. She's not in the car. Don't get too close.
She must be inside.
We're on the move again, Cole. After her. Don't lose that cab. Can you quit driving like a jackass already?
How many stops is she gonna make? Hammond is full of himself, being this sure he was gonna win. That bitch has given me what I'm owed. That's all I know.
Pull over. He's heading inside. I think I just saw Hammond. I'll tail him. You get in there and stay with Candy. Make sure you don't let her see you.
Everything was fine.
I survived the war for this? Ah.
Call an ambulance.
Hammond got away.
He said...
Just try and sit still, Candy. Who shot you? Was it Albert?
car.
They're on the way. I have a patrolman searching the depot. The chief's putting together a manhunt for Hammond. He got the money, right?
Looks like it.
A tough bird, our limey friend. Using his girlfriend as the bag woman and then getting greedy over the split. He won't make it out of town.
That's how you see it?
I told you that cocksucker was a crook.
.32 caliber. One shot fired. The Egyptian Theater.
So, what now?
The theater, I guess. We don't have much else to go on.
You can't go around hitting broads.
Poor girl. She didn't deserve that.
Poor girl. Half the precinct aren't taking a vacation this year because of her. You need to leave town a lot quicker than that if you decide to screw over Mickey C.
This seems like a long shot. Aren't they all?
Car 11K, Car 11 King, come in.
Car 11 King.
Message from the coroner. The cause of death was a knife wound. Repeat, a knife wound. Revolver appears to have belonged to the victim.
Son of a
KGB all clear.
bitch. He stabbed her.
I thought you said real men use their fists, not guns.
That guinea cocksucker. You think he got the money, too?
Come on, Roy. We're bringing this whole tragedy to its conclusion.
Why'd you kill her, Carlo? Your gripe was with me.
She was collecting the money for you. Mickey made it clear it was either me or you, and I intend to keep on living.
She stole those betting slips. She was running out on me.
And you were going to let her?
No, I let her collect. I set her up, just like she set me up. Just like my manager set me up. Everyone wanted me to take a dive. Everyone wanted me to take the short money. It's for the best, kid.
You were washed up, kid! You couldn't climb, and you were too brave to sink. You were going nowhere!
Maybe, but I had heart. I was a Royal Marine, Carlo. If I lost a fight, it wasn't for lack of trying, and it wasn't for lack of courage. I didn't have much, but I had that.
I did it for you, and that's how you repay me!
You did it for yourself, so did little boy. You did it to make a quick buck, and Candy did it to make her dream come true.
Blah, blah, blah. I've got the money. All I need to do is get rid of you. It's gonna be a shame, kid, but that's business.
We've heard enough, Arcaro. Put down your weapon.
You're making a big mistake, Arcaro.
Come on. And two, fine.
Find some...
Move, I've got you. Where are you?
You limey cocksucker.
Kill a cop, and it's the electric chair.
It's time to come out now, Hammond. Put the gun down, Roy.
That son of a bitch owes me a lot of money.
Catch. The Scania sails from New York, Hammond. Be on the next train and don't ever come back.
Why?
Because I was a Marine and I once lacked courage. Everyone deserves a second chance. Now beat it.
Fuck you! That English prick is getting away with my money, Phelps!
I'm hearing rumors of a fight that was fixed, of gangsters looking to get square, that LAPD cops might be involved. Either of you two sons of bitches know anything about that?
No, sir.
So, the dead wop who turned up in this theater, who used to be a boxing manager, who murdered Candy Edwards, has nothing to do with the fix?
Absolutely not.
Earl, you're doing venereal disease citations until you can learn to stop lying to me. Phelps, got anything to add?
No, sir.
Get your uniform from your locker. You're back on the street. .187 at 5810 Murata Avenue. Homicide wants you over there. The coroner thinks the broad was whacked using the Army morphine. Don't say anything, Roy. Just get over there.
What's with that getup of yours, anyway? I should start introducing us as Detective Earl, and this is my science teacher, Mr. Phelps.
Your interest in my appearance is starting to get me worrying.
Like it or not, we're a dysfunctional couple now. People judge me with you on my arm same way they would a fat broad with a 5 o'clock shadow.
I really hope you're joking, Roy.
Seem distracted.
We recovered the morphine. Some of it might be unaccounted for. So what? That's life. We did our job.
Closing one case opens another.
Do you have any idea what is really going on while we're wasting our time following this stuff?
Are you going to tell me?
The deals being done right now will change the face of L.A. forever, and we're wasting our time on some hump.
Someone's little girl.
Visit the morgue at the end of the month when the John and Jane Does are cremated. Their percentages. The odds for and against lightning striking.
Any unit in the vicinity of 211 in progress at 3rd and Union. Stand by for further unit to handle identify.
Second floor, apartment 6, in the back.
Thanks. Bukowski, you made homicide.
That I did. Good to see you, Phelps.
You two want a hug? Or can we get on with it?
Relax, Rusty.
26 years old, fashion model. Found in the tub by the cleaning lady, Mrs. Reynoldson. She called it in.
We heard Carruthers thinks...
Carruthers likes to make work for people. Overdose of sleeping pills. Falls asleep in the tub. Rest in peace. Case closed.
Here, here. Mal is 100% that it's murder.
Do you mind if I take a look around?
Sure. Go right ahead. Phelps?
Mal, we've had a look around. Rusty thinks it's a waste of time. What's your theory?
Come on, Mal. Tell us why we were dragged down here.
If the victim was alive when she entered the tub, water would have entered her lungs. The water is violently churned in the windpipe as she drowns. The result is that a lot of foam is generated. This foam is found at the mouth and nostrils in almost all cases of real drowning. Notice anything about our Vic?
May I take a look?
Be my guest. Take a closer look at her head and neck.
Very unusual ring.
I could be wrong, but it looks like a black sapphire.
Bruising on the forearms, and these look like bite marks.
Very good.
The neck is bruised pretty badly.
The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down and another held her arm and injected her. They put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
And spread a trail of barbiturates.
Take a look around outside on your way out and see if you can find the syrettes. It would make my theory.
And morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought syrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something.
Looks like barbiturates. Barbiturates. What else is rattling around in this thing? We should speak to her doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make her life a roller coaster. Quality English smoking jacket. I don't know anyone under 45 who would wear one. Maybe if... No. This is all top end of town stuff. Gives us somewhere to look. There's been a modeling assignment. It's a place to start. Beautiful girl. Clothes certainly aren't from the Sears catalog. I'm Detective Phelps. I'm here to try and help Julia. Do you mind answering some questions?
Virginia Reynoldson, I'm just so shocked. I feel like there's something I should be doing, someone I should call.
We can make those calls, ma'am. Who needs to be notified?
That's just it. I don't know. Miss Julie doesn't have any family in town. Someone has to set her affairs in order. Mr. Henderson, maybe? Who else is there? I don't know.
If you give the details to the other detectives, ma'am, they can try and get in contact. Was Miss Randall depressed about something? Upset?
No more than normal.
Would she have killed herself for a man?
Miss Julie would never have killed herself. She was a very determined young lady. One of those people who shake the tree for all it's worth.
Did Miss Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I only come around twice a week.
Men friends, Mrs. Reynoldson. Spill it.
I will not spread gossip about Miss Julia. She was very nice to me.
I don't care if she was the Virgin Mary's sister. Who was she humping? You changed the sheets.
You're disgusting. If you're going to take that tone, I won't answer any more questions.
What was it like working for Miss Randall?
Perfectly fine, officer.
Mrs. Reynoldsson, it seems like there's something you want to tell me.
She was very high-strung. Lovely one moment and screaming at you the next. She wanted it all, and she wanted it damn quick. Of course, being so beautiful, it seemed like she was going to get it. Not the way it's turned out, though, is it?
Thanks, Mrs. Reynoldsson. You've been very helpful. One of the other detectives will take your statement, and then you can go home. Stefan, Rusty, we'll take a look around outside and then follow up these leads. Can you get some guys to run down the jacket?
You think Carruthers has called it right?
He rarely gets it wrong.
I don't know. I'm a Galloway. I've met enough girls in my time who can't handle their dope.
Bukowski, Galloway, quite the little reunion in there. Almost brought a tear to my eye.
They're good police.
How would you know? You got promoted so fast you barely had time to learn their names. Let me fill you in. Bukowski's a pushover. Galloway's a drunk.
You could learn a thing or two from both of them.
Please. They couldn't work a vice case if their life depended on it.
I don't see why they'd be any better or worse at it than me.
I noticed you said better. Hubris disguised as humility. Kind of your trademark, don't you think?
Why do you always twist everything? Galloway's got nothing to prove. He's been on homicide for years.
And he's welcome to it. You're a terrier, Phelps, and that's what I need. Not some old bulldog who can't get up a flight of stairs without coughing up his lunch. What are you doing?
I swear, if we locked up every doctor in this town, Vice would be able to work half days.
Here, Stoneman, office 505.
Yes, sir, your name?
LAPD. We'd like to see Dr. Stoneman.
Dr. Stoneman is with a patient. Would you like to wait?
No, we wouldn't. Tell him we want to see him now.
There's no need to be rude.
Save it, sister.
Dr. Stoneman, I have some gentlemen from the LAPD here to see you.
Send them in, please. I'll see this patient again after they've left.
Your investigation is much more important.
Dr. Stoneman, we are investigating the death of one of your patients, Julia Randall.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions about Ms. Randall?
Not if it doesn't compromise doctor-patient privilege, Detective.
How well did you know Miss Randall?
Barely at all. She'd only been a patient 6 months or so.
Julia Randall has been your patient for nearly a year. I'm sure you know that.
Do you doubt my veracity, Detective? Do you have access to my patient records?
Your prescriptions contradict you, Doctor.
Miss Randall was in the fashion business, as you probably know. She was jumped up on Benzedrine by day and knocked down by sleeping pills at night. I told her to slow up, but no. Life was too short for her.
And you supplied the prescription for the Benzedrine?
It's not illegal, Detective. A lot of young women in her line of work use it for weight loss.
You wrote Julia Randall a prescription for Benzedrine. How can you account for that?
Miss Randall was in the fashion business. She wanted to control her weight.
We believe Miss Randall died of an overdose of morphine. You didn't prescribe her anything else, did you?
That is a very serious allegation to level at a doctor, young man. I am well aware of what is prescribed under the Harrison Act, Detective. If you wish to make any other ridiculous accusations, I suggest you direct them to my attorney.
That'll be all for now, Dr. Stoneman. We'll be in touch. I'm at a loss.
What are we missing? Let's go back to the apartment.
I'm stumped. Ideas?
What are we missing? Let's go back to the apartment.
Have you noticed how Croakers only pull out the physician-patient privilege card when they got something to hide?
There are certain things people have a right to keep private.
Until it gets in the way of police work. And it's only private when it suits them. A couple of drinks and every doctor I've met will spill your darkest secrets in a heartbeat.
What do you think?
You want to go digging around in drains trying to support Mal's theory? You go ahead. I'm not getting my hands dirty.
Mal will be pleased.
Well, that's hardly conclusive, given the number of those things we've come across recently.
The autopsy will confirm it one way or another.
I think our work is done here.
Look where you're going! What's wrong with you?
Vicinity of 211 in progress at 3rd and Union. Stand by for further unit to handle. Identify.
Well, hello. What can I help you with today?
LAPD, ma'am.
I hope I haven't done anything wrong.
No, ma'am. We're making some inquiries about Julia Randall. Does she work here?
No, I had to let her go. Is she in some sort of trouble?
She was found dead this morning. How long had Julia worked as a model?
Well, she worked in New York before coming here. She was a very beautiful girl.
Could you tell us why you let Miss Randall go?
Husbands sometimes come in here with their wives. When Julia Randall modeled, the husbands were often more interested in her than they were their wives' dresses. The wives weren't happy, and neither was I.
Did she have any close friends here?
Actually, yes. Heather Swanson. Would you like to speak with her?
I'd like that very much. Please don't inform her about Miss Randall's death.
Very well, officer. Heather, these gentlemen are from the LAPD.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. I understand that you worked with Julia Randall, Miss Swanson?
Yes. Julia helped me get my job here. She's not in any kind of trouble, is she?
She's a hellraiser, isn't she? Lives a fast life.
Oh, no. Maybe Mrs. Stanley would call her that, but I wouldn't. She's full of life, a wonderful company.
That's a lovely engagement ring.
Do you like it? Henry gave it to
I'm
me.
very interested in engagement rings. Do you mind if I take a closer look? That's some pearl, Miss Swanson. Would have cost Henry a fortune. He must really love you. How did you meet Julia?
I was introduced through my fiancé, Henry Arnett.
Henry is your beau. Tell us about it.
Yes, he is. Henry has a fashion business. He and Julia have been friends for years.
Are Miss Randall and Mr. Henderson engaged?
Who's he?
She was wearing a sapphire engagement ring. Someone must have given it to her.
She never mentioned a man named Henderson to me.
That's all for now, Miss Swanson. Could you ask your fiancé to visit Hollywood Police Station? It would be very helpful to our inquiry.
Now, wait a moment. I don't think I'll pass on that message until you tell me why you're asking all these questions.
Julia Randall was found dead this morning.
What? Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe it. She was so full of life.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
Are there any messages for me?
Yes, Detective. The coroner's been asking to speak to you. I can connect the call if you like.
Please, thank you. Al?
Cole, can you get over here? I just finished the autopsy.
Sure thing, Mal. We'll be right over.
Nice move not telling old Sweet Lips in there about her friend taking the big jump till we were half out the door. Very slick.
I figured we'd get more out of her that way.
You're learning, Phelps. We'll make a vice cop out of you yet. There goes a week's wages.
Cole, Roy, I have some information for you.
You're the only person enjoying this, Mal. Get on with it.
The bruising confirms 2 sets of hands, so we have 2 killers. Death was caused by heart failure due to an overdose of morphine.
Have you dragged us down here to gloat? We already heard your theory.
We agree that she was murdered.
Yes, of course.
I have something else to show you.
All right, Mal, what gives?
The dead guy's name is Jimmy LeBlanc, career burglar. He came in this morning. Someone stove his head in with a lump of 2x4.
So what? Good riddance.
I found 2 cigarettes in his jacket pocket.
Wow.
Hang on a minute, Roy. We're listening, Mal.
No sign of morphine use and no metabolized morphine in his blood. Scratch marks on his face.
Which could be from getting his head remodeled.
Time of death, Mal.
Maybe an hour or 2 after the Randall girl.
So you're saying Laughing Boy here could be one of our killers? That's a hell of a long shot.
Thanks, Mal. We'll check it out.
I found something else.
Sorry, I don't play.
I don't know if it's significant. His wallet was empty. The only other things he was carrying were the harmonica and the morphine. Carruthers. Yeah, he's here. I'll send him over. They have a guy called Henry Arnett in interview 2 for you next door. Let me know how you get on.
Sure, Mal. And thanks for the lead.
Sure, Mal. Thanks for the lead.
Mr. Arnett, I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. Thanks for coming in.
Call me Henry. It's the least I could do. Terrible news about Julia.
How well did you know Julia Randall?
Vaguely. I'm in the clothing business, and Julia occasionally modeled for me.
And you were close?
We were friends.
Miss Randall's landlady said she was seeing an older man.
Could have been. I wasn't privy to all the details of Julia's private life.
Henry, I don't like when people lie to me. She was seeing a man named Henderson. You know who I'm talking about.
Easy on, Detective. I may have heard of Henderson, but I don't know his full name. I think he's from New York or someplace back east.
It's nothing personal. I'm just doing my job. You understand that? Spill it, Henry. You know nothing about a man named Henderson?
Yes, you're right. Henderson, yeah. Very distinguished.
How about a first name, wise guy? An address, maybe?
I'm sorry, I don't. I think he lives somewhere out of town. Somewhere back east.
Ever heard of a Jimmy LeBlanc?
No. Should I have? Is he an entertainer or something?
So you wouldn't have any reason to believe that LeBlanc would be involved in Julie Randall's murder?
If this guy is a criminal, he might have been involved. But like I said, I've never heard of this LeBlanc character.
Heather told us that you were in fashion.
That's right.
They weren't even his prints, and he still confessed.
some kind of traveling salesman?
Well, once I got out of the Corps, I used my...
You were in the Marines?
Sure. I'm proud of it. Fighting 6th.
You were in the 6th Marines?
Yes. I was a captain.
Which company?
Various companies. We had a lot of casualties.
Which engagements?
Okinawa. A couple of other places.
That will be all for now, Henry. You've been very helpful.
That son of a bitch was never in the Marines. Why'd you let him off the hook?
Because we're giving him a couple of minutes before we start tailing him. Arnett is an amateur. We need to find out who killed the girl. Can you pass this on to Bukowski? Have him check the place out and go through his records.
Sure, I'll pass it on.
Thanks. Can you also have R&I run the records on a Jimmy LeBlanc and find out who was his last arresting officer? Have them get in touch via KGPL when they have some information.
He's in that car at the lights.
So, meine lieben Zockerfreunde, es ist mittlerweile 12:30 morgens. Ich mache jetzt erstmal eine Pause. Ich wünsche euch eine gute Nacht und ich hoffe, ihr seid alle beim nächsten Teil wieder dabei. Bis zum nächsten Mal und tschüss.